In this class, we are going to learn how to solve word problem leading to quadratic equation. Okay, let's start with the first question. The product of two consecutive positive odd numbers is 195. By constructing a quadratic equation and solving it, find the two numbers. Okay, now let's you see, word problem is an aspect of mathematics that, number one, they want to test your ability to understand and interpret question. Okay, so in this case, we are going to be interpreting the question into quadratic equation, then we are going to solve the quadratic equation. Okay, so let's start. The product of two consecutive positive odd numbers. Now pay attention to that statement. Positive odd numbers. What are odd numbers? Odd numbers differs by the difference between two odd number is 2. Are you paying attention? The difference between two consecutive odd number is 2. Let's say that the first odd number is 1. What will be the second consecutive odd number? That will be what? 3. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is what? 3. 3 plus 2 is what? 5. 5 plus 2 is what? 7. 7 plus 2 is what? 9. 9 plus 2 is what? 11. 11 plus 2 is what? That is 13. 13 plus 2 is 15. So these are odd number and they differs by what? They differs by 2. You understand? That is the first thing that I want you to take note. Okay, so let's go back to the question. The product of two consecutive positive odd number, that means that both odd number are positive. So let the odd number be x. Hello, see, I'm going to explain. Okay, you just have to pay attention. The product of two consecutive positive odd number is 195. So let the odd number equals to x. Okay, now the first odd number will be what? X, because we are dealing with two odd number now. For example, let's take, for instance, let's say we want to take two consecutive odd number among this, among all these odd number that I wrote on the chalkboard. Let's say we want to take two consecutive odd number. We can either choose 1 and 3, or 3 and 5, or 9 and 11, or 13 and 15. They are consecutive because they follows after each other. You understand? The odd number after 13 is what? 15. After 15 is what? 17. You understand? So that is why we call it consecutive. You understand? So now, if the first odd number be x, the second odd number will be what? X plus 2. Because I've already let you understand that odd number differs by what? By 2. You understand? The difference between two consecutive odd number is what? 2. So for example, let's say, for instance, 3 minus 1 is what? 2. 5 minus 3 is what? 2. 9 minus 7, 2. You understand? So now the difference is 2. That means that if this is the first odd number, the second odd number will be x plus 2. You understand? Okay, so now let's go back to the question. We are told that the product of these two consecutive positive odd number is 195. So let us take the product of these two numbers. That means I'm going to have x multiplied by x plus 2. You understand? Okay, is equals to 195. Do you understand? Okay, now here I'm going to have x into bracket x plus 2 is equals to 195. X times x, that is x squared. X times plus 2, that is plus 2x, is equals to 195. Okay, now the next step is that I'm going to take this 195, I'm going to let it crosses the equals to sign to the left hand side of the equation. You know, in an attempt to solve quadratic equation, a typical quadratic equation look like this: ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. You understand? So, but I'm having 195 at the right hand side of the equation, so I'm going to take this 195 to the left hand side. So I'm going to have x squared plus 2x minus 195 equals to 0. You understand? Okay, now this is the quadratic equation that you're going to solve. By solving this quadratic equation, we're going to get the two positive odd number. Okay, now which method are you going to use to solve this quadratic equation? Let's solve it using the factorization method. Okay. Now, to solve this using the factorization method, you just have to think of two numbers such that when you take their product, you are going to have negative 495, and when you take their sum, you are going to have positive 2. What are those two numbers? Those two numbers are negative 13 and 15. You understand? So, having done that, you are going to replace the second term by those two numbers. You see? If you want to learn more on how to factorize quadratic equation or how to solve quadratic equation using the factorization method, you can check this channel, check the playlist. Okay, I made this simpler in that case. Okay, so let's proceed. Here I'm going to have x squared plus 15 minus 13 x minus 195 equals to 0. Okay, 15 multiplied by 13 will give negative 15 multiplied by 13 will give us negative 195. 15 minus 13 will give us what? Positive 2. So I just replace positive 2 by this. You understand? Okay, so I'm going to have x squared plus 15x minus 13x minus 195 equals to 0. Okay, now I'm going to divide this fraction. I'm going to divide this equation by, I'm going to divide it into two. Okay, the first part being this and the second part being this. Now we are going to factorize. Let us factorize now. What is common to x squared and 15x? The common term between x squared and positive 15x is what? Is x. So I'm going to have x into bracket x plus 15. Are you paying attention? Okay. Now what is common to negative 13x? Hello, listen. Okay. What is common to negative 13x and negative 195? The common term is negative 13. You understand? So here I'm going to have negative 13 into bracket x plus 15. This will be equals to 0. Do you understand? Okay, we have gotten to this point. What are we going to do? How you have to do is that you can see that we have the same content in the first and the second bracket. So we are going to choose one bracket. Hence, I'm going to have x plus 15 equals to 0. Then the factor, which are x, the factor of each bracket, which are x and negative 13, I'm going to bring them together. So I'm going to have x minus 13 as well equals to 0. Okay, just pay attention. Okay, now by solving that linear equation, we're going to get the value of x. So here I'm going to have x is equals to negative 15 and x is equals to 13. So because we are told in the question that the numbers are positive, you understand? You know, in the question we are given that the product of two consecutive positive odd number. So we are going to disregard the negative 15 and we are going to accept this. Are you paying attention? You know, we are told that the numbers are positive. So we are going to focus on x is equals to 13. Now, this is not the final answer. We are going to go back to the question. X is equals to 13. So the first number is what? Is x. So the first number x is equals to 13. The second number is what? X plus 2. And x plus 2 is equals to what? 13 plus 2, which is what? 15. So the two numbers are 13 and 15 respectively. Do you understand? The two positive consecutive odd number are 13 and 15 respectively. Trust you understand. If you didn't understand, listen to the explanation again. You know that when I start this solving, I said let the odd number be x. So I represent the first number with x, the second number with what? X plus 2. Okay, so the first number is x. I got the value of x as 13. So the first number, the first positive odd number is 13. The second positive odd number will be x plus 2, which is what? 15. So that is the solution to that question. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Okay, don't forget to like and share the video, and to be part of this channel, kindly subscribe. Okay, but it is very compulsory that to like the video. Okay, see you in the next class.